Let's get real for a second. Every headline, every scroll, every conversation, World War III is everywhere. It's the new boogeyman. But something about the hype feels staged. Are we on the brink of disaster, or just extras in a high-stakes reality show? We see real suffering in Ukraine, the Middle East, Asia, but the story we're sold. That's where I get skeptical. We're handed simple narratives, good guys, bad guys, reasons to fear, reasons to hate. It's emotional manipulation, and it's working. We're scared, divided, and searching for someone to blame. But maybe the real story isn't about the enemies, it's about who's pulling the strings. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, just someone who notices patterns. The same talking points echo across networks, while contradictions are ignored. We're told to stand for freedom here, while our leaders cozy up to dictators elsewhere. It's a world of do as I say, not as I do. And we're stuck in the middle. So are we really on the path to World War III, or just being led by fear? Questioning the story can get you labeled, but when did critical thinking become a crime? The stakes are too high to just accept what we're told. Let's dig deeper because the real agenda might be closer than we think. Let's talk about the media machine. It's a fire hose of dramatic, curated footage. Explosions, protests, military drills, designed for maximum impact. But every story has a narrator. And that narrator has an agenda. Are we seeing reality, or just the version that sells war? The framing is always binary, democracy versus autocracy, us versus them. It's easier to sell a war when you make it about good versus evil. But the real world is messy, full of history, broken treaties, and economic interests that don't fit a 2-minute segment. We're left with a cartoon version of reality. So turn up your skepticism. Who owns the media? What are their interests? These aren't just news outlets, they're billion-dollar businesses. They sell a worldview, not just information. We have to become our own journalists. Seek out different sources, especially from the ground. The fog of war is thick, but media manipulation is thicker. Our first act of resistance is refusing to see the world in black and white. If the narrative is controlled, ask who benefits. Wars are the most profitable business in history. Every missile, every tank, every jet, someone's cashing in. The defense industry isn't about service, it's about sales, and business is booming. Global military spending is in the trillions money that could solve real problems, but instead funds destruction. Defense stocks soar with every new conflict. Their lobbyists keep the contracts flowing. They don't just profit from war, they need it. And it's not just arms dealers, energy companies, banks, private contractors all profit from chaos. War creates a whole ecosystem of profit built on instability. The first bombs are followed by a rain of contracts for the well-connected. If profit depends on conflict, what's the incentive for peace? While we see devastation, a tiny elite sees dollar signs. They cash in when the world burns. We're the ones who get scorched. Let's zoom out. Wars, climate crisis, billionaire solutions, new tech controlling food and weather. Does this feel random or like a playbook? Maybe chaos isn't an accident, but a tool. Crisis, real or manufactured, lets them push through policies we'd never accept otherwise. When we're scared, we give up freedoms for security. Health crisis, surveillance, climate crisis, new taxes and restrictions, war, the ultimate excuse for control. It's a consolidation of power, a global elite calling the shots. They create the problem, gauge our reaction, then offer a solution that always means more power for them. They want to manage every aspect of our lives, using fear to herd us into compliance. Slogans like the Great Reset and Build Back Better sound hopeful, but mean more surveillance, digital IDs, and control. These aren't sci-fi ideas. They're real proposals at elite gatherings. The threat of World War III is the perfect smokescreen for this agenda. While we're distracted, they tighten their grip. Let's talk about the leaders. They give speeches, promise they're working for us, but do they really feel our pain? There's a massive gap between their world and ours. They make deals, live in luxury, while we struggle with basics like groceries. One day, leaders are enemies. The next, they're shaking hands for the cameras. It's all theater, different countries, same elite club, and we're not in it. We see billions sent to wars while our own infrastructure crumbles. They tell us to sacrifice while they live large. They play a different game, insulated from the consequences of their decisions. We're left to deal with the fallout, paying the price for their power plays. They start the fires, then sell us the fire extinguishers. So what do? If the system's rigged and the leaders are compromised, it's easy to feel powerless. But that's what they want. Cynicism and division keep us under control. The most radical act now is reclaiming your own sovereignty. Build independence from their fragile systems. The real front line is your mind, your backyard, your neighborhood. Grow your own food, even a few herbs. It's about breaking dependency on centralized systems. Learn basic health skills. Don't rely solely on industries that profit from your sickness. Become a relentless seeker of truth. Turn off mainstream news. Do your own research. Read, listen, question everything. Your mind is your most valuable territory. Defend it. Most importantly, unite. The elite strategy is to divide us. Left versus right, mask versus no mask, black versus white. These battle lines keep us fighting each other, not them. Start talking to your neighbors again. Build local networks of mutual aid. Find common ground with those labeled as your opponents. Our shared humanity is more powerful than any ideology. The fight isn't people versus people. It's all of us against a corrupt system. Reclaim your power together. So is World War III a truth or a trap? My gut says it's the most elaborate trap ever set. It's a psychological operation, a pretext for control, profit, and distraction from the real war. A class war, a spiritual war. They want us scared, divided, and begging for their solutions. But their power is an illusion, propped up by our compliance. The real power is in us, our minds, our hearts, our communities. This isn't a call for violence, but for a revolution of consciousness. Remember who you are, not just a consumer or taxpayer, but a sovereign human being. We can create a different future, one based on peace, freedom, and truth. Don't fall for the trap. Question everything. Trust your intuition. Build your skills, grow your garden, know your neighbors, turn off the TV, look people in the eye, find the humanity in them. That's where hope is. That's how we win. Not by fighting their wars, but by refusing to play their game. The future isn't written. We get to decide what comes next. Let's choose wisely.